Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Gurley Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Leighton. We have Brigitte, Cueter, Carino. All these are coming up and more. Afterward from our sponsors, please stay with us.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
The Duterte camp is looking for a country to host detained former President Rodrigo Duterte as he waits for the International Criminal Court's decision on his request for interim release. ICC Assistant to Counsel Cristina Conti says this is based on Vice President Sara Duterte's tone in past interviews in the past few days. For Conti, what's important now is to find out what the conditions would be for the former president's interim release as some portions of the defense's document were redacted.
Palagay ko dun sa tono ni Sara Duterte, naghahanap pa at di umano daw kinukonsider, kaya nung nasa Australia siya kinukonsider daw. Kung ano't ano man yung tinatawag na Assembly of State Parties o lahat ng member state ng ICC ay pwedeng mag-weigh in at sabihin, sino sa atin ang mag-host dito?
Vice President Sara Duterte earlier disclosed that Australia was among the countries considered by her father's lawyers in the ICC for his potential temporary liberty. Of the two countries named in the request, one committed to helping or to receiving and accepting the former president, according to the younger Duterte. But the Australian government confirms to ABS-CBN News it has not agreed to host Duterte, nor considering such. Australia is one of the 125 state parties to the Rome Statute, the founding treaty of the ICC. While aware of Duterte's application for urgent interim release, Australia says it would rather leave the matter to the ICC. But in an interview in Davao City Friday, Vice President Sara Duterte clarified that there was no application of interim release in Australia for her father.
First off, I'd like to clarify that the defense team of President Duterte never reached out to the Australian government to discuss about his interim release. There is no application of former President Duterte for interim release in Australia.
The Vice President also stated Australia is not included in the two countries named by the defense team in its urgent request for interim release before the ICC.
The submission of the lawyers of President Duterte, wherein there were two countries indicated in the document, albeit redacted, I have to confirm that the two countries, none of which is Australia.
Meanwhile, since the document is redacted, Conti says they do not know what other countries are being considered.
Ang hirap, di ba, tansyahin kung hindi mo alam yon. Pero sa bahagi namin, yung kondisyones na, yung binanggit kong kanina, yung qualifications kung bakit ka ikukulong, yung mga yon ang sinisilip namin. At yung pangalawa, obstructing or interfering with the processes. Doon kami kinakabahan dahil may kapasidad siya, may kapangyarihan, at may history, may kasaysayan yan ng pag-obstruct o isa sa panganib niya, yung proceedings, lalo na yung investigasyon laban sa kanya.
Conti believes the ICC would junk Duterte's request for interim release based on the court's initial findings.
Noong March, nag-issue siya ng warrant of arrest upon a finding that this person might probably flee and not participate in the proceedings. Kaya ganun kaaga, may ganun ang finding. Kaya itong interim release, bagaman matter of right, babangga na siya dun sa initial findings ng ICC.
Conti adds, based on the ICC's history, the court never granted interim release to those facing crimes against humanity, war crimes, crimes of aggression or genocide.
Hindi naman sa hindi dahil bawal, pwedeng he could be the first one, pero laging merong kondisyones.
Meanwhile, the palace clarified that the Marcos administration is not directly cooperating with the ICC. This comes after Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Boying Remulla disclosed that the ICC reached out to the DOJ's Witness Protection Program to secure individuals who may be needed to testify against the former president.
Hindi directly makikipagtulungan sa ICC. It can be said that it is indirectly cooperating with the ICC, but the primary intention of the government is to help the victims and the witnesses of the victims to get the justice they need.
Castro also clarified that there are no talks yet regarding the Philippines rejoining the ICC.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
ViaTimes, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. ViaTimes for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. ViaTime has very interesting columnists. You name it, ViaTimes has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call ViaTimes at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica segment of this show. Today, I have a very interesting person in this show, and he was a Hall of Famer of the Chicago Filipino Asian American Hall of Fame. And he, at one time, he was the president of the Asian American Law Enforcement Association. And his name is Sergeant Ron Bongat. Hi, Ron. How are you?
Good to see you.
Welcome to our show.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So, Ron, I invited you here today to talk about a new podcast that you and a partner are starting, or have you started already, here in our town, and let's talk about it, okay?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
a podcast of this podcast. What is the title of the podcast?
It's called the Asian American Perspective. So Eric Rubio and myself, we decided, we wanted to have a voice, here in Illinois. So, we did some research and looked up, see if there's any Asian community related podcasts here in the Illinois area. And, we didn't find any. There are some on the West Coast, are doing pretty well. I figure it's a good way to, meet some people in our community and see how they affect, the Asians in Illinois as a whole. So, it's a nice little side venture that we have. We both, Eric and I both have busy lives, busy schedules and stuff, but we just thought it'd be interesting to, have certain people on our show and discuss, whatever social topics happen to come in mind, whether it be politics or, whatever businesses they're promoting or, resources for our community and stuff. So,
Okay, all right. Eric Rubio is your partner.
yeah, he's a real estate
I think
agent
I
here
know
in
him.
Illinois. So, great guy.
Yeah, great guy. And okay, let's talk some more about the podcast.
Sure.
Will it be composed of topics of that will really invite a lot of guests to watch and or a lot of guests to appear on your show?
Yeah, sure. So right now we have a couple, we have one interview up on our YouTube channel, and we have a Facebook page. Both have the same title, Asian American Perspective. The people we plan on interviewing already have, somewhat of an audience. Our first interview was with a guy named Todd Vandermeide, and he does a lot for our Second Amendment rights. We here in Illinois, we have certain gun laws that are hurting law-abiding citizens, like myself, with restrictions on firearms. Believe it or not, there's a lot of Asians, that have firearms, and it affects them as well. So we wanted to get an update on all the, the legal issues that are going on in our state. We just got done interviewing Aaron Del Mar. He is he's a Filipino. He's the Republican, the Cook County Republican chairman. That episode should be coming out in the next couple days. Tonight we have the owner of Asian Mora Restaurant. So it'll be interesting to get her take on her business and owning a business as a Filipino here in Illinois, and talk about the pros and cons of owning a restaurant or owning a small business in general. So, and see how we want to highlight certain people in our community that offer services or have small businesses, and promote our community, because we're not getting it from a lot of other outlets and stuff like that. It seems like the Asian community as a whole, not too many officials or politicians really pay us much mind, except for election time, of course. Like Lunar New Year celebration. That's pretty much when you'll see, the only time you'll see a lot of politicians mingling with the Asian community. So we want to change that. So we want to highlight certain people and show the community there's people just like them out here making it work here in America.
As this will be actually serving the Asian American community of Chicago,
Yeah, and
of
Illinois.
but you, as Filipinos, are you going to be more focusing more on the Filipino group?
Well, I think Asians as a whole, you know what I mean? So it's not like Eric and I decided just to, let's just interview, nothing but Asian people or Filipinos. It just so happens that, Aaron Del Mar is Filipino, and Christine Cancel, who we're interviewing later tonight, they're Filipino. But, we're going to be interviewing, people that do have an impact in our community. You know what I mean? That somehow affect issues that we're dealing with, whether it be, quality of life issues, taxes, inflation, stuff like that, and, people that have resources to, social events, or, whatever people are out there looking for, so everybody I think we have scheduled to interview impacts our community one way or another.
What or who inspired you to start a podcast?
Well, I think the age of podcasting, has really taken off. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons, guys like, President Trump, succeeded in this election, because he was one of the only candidates that went on, podcasts and talked to a lot younger group. Not everybody, you know, um, reads a lot of social media, I know, or listens to topics, being discussed on social media, they may be influenced by it, but, there's really no hardline conversations about certain things, and this is a good avenue, to get these conversations out there and see what people are talking about or how people, certain people think about issues that are going on in our community.
It would take your time and attention, as what you said, to be active in the social media, and likewise, the specific communities that you want to get involved with.
Yeah, so it's just it is time consuming, and I'm not a production engineer or anything. I did a lot of research on, camera equipment, sound equipment. I never used, editing software before. So, it's still a learning process. We do have a couple videos out on our pages right now, and, every time I'm doing a new episode, it just seems a little bit easier. And I think the quality is, going to improve a little bit. We're going through some, I'm going through some growing pains when it comes to, editing this stuff. And, I've never done this type of stuff before. So, it is time consuming, but it's something, I'm really starting to enjoy to do. So, if you're going to be doing something that's going to take up a lot of time, you better be enjoying it, so, which is what I'm doing.
Oh, tell us, how often do you want to be on the air, or to be reaching out to your audience? Would you like to be monthly or weekly or daily in
Well,
your
right now, the way our schedules work so far, because we did a couple interviews, before we set out the first episode on our site. So I'd like to at least once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops, get an episode out there. So we have a few people lined up, for interviews. Hopefully, you're one of those people that's going to come into our studio, and so we can interview you, because you're a person that we really want to get to know, and you're very important in our community, and we wanted to talk to you about certain topics and see how you feel about them, and see how they affect you. And but yeah, so every 2 to 3 weeks we'd like to get an episode out, and post a few things on Facebook every now and then, but mostly our videos will be on YouTube and Facebook for now. I think we do. I think Eric started an Instagram page for us, so he'll be managing that. So we're going to try to have as many outlets as we can for our videos.
Do you plan to go out there for some coverages, like maybe for a restaurant grand opening, something like that?
Yeah, maybe, just to get a few shots, and then maybe have that owner come into the studio for a follow-up interview, and then just edit those videos together, but I don't think we'll be doing anything live or, on site. Like I said, we'll just get some footage, maybe the opening, or, an outing they might be having, and then bring that owner in here for a more in-depth conversation. I mean, in the studio, I think it's a little more intimate, and a little more relaxed, and, having to be thinking, on the fly all the time, so I think our conversations are pretty, it's just, a few people inside a studio just having a normal conversation, it's not so much an interview. Yeah, there's, questions being asked, but it's just like getting together with friends and just having a normal, friendly conversation and getting to know each other.
All right. Okay. I would like you, before we sign off, I would like you to invite our viewing audience to your podcast.
Sure. My name is Ron Bongat. I'd like to invite you guys to check out my podcast called The Asian American Perspective. We're going to be taking some deep dives into a lot of our culture here in the state of Illinois. Hopefully, you guys find it entertaining. You can search our page on YouTube and Facebook. Again, it's called The Asian American Perspective. Hope you guys enjoy it, and please come check us out. Like and subscribe to our channels. Thanks.
Okay. All right. So, Eric, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right, Eric. I would really wish you good luck and congratulations to your very new project. We're gonna be looking forward to seeing your podcast. You can send invitation to our community through ViaTimes. I invite you to do that, and send us your posters, and we will help you.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Veronica. And like I was saying, we're going to get you on our show. You gotta set aside some time for us.
Okay. Thank you so much. I thank you for gracing our show today, and good luck again. And at magandang paalam, and maraming salamat sa iyong pag I try to translate it in Tagalog. Maraming salamat sa iyong pag-appear.
Thanks, Veronica. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Okay, nice seeing you, and see you later.
All right, take care, Veronica.
See you later in your podcast when I have the chance to appear in your show.
People want to know you. People want to hear your story. So.
Okay. Bye now.
All right, take care, Veronica.
Okay.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in this point.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our communities has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward. and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be like someone to start that conversation.
You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting and very popular, respected and renowned individual in our community. This woman is really very interesting, and she has been doing a lot of work in humanitarian contributions through medical mission. Her name is Miss Nora Chai. Do you know her? It's very
Good afternoon, people.
popular.
Good afternoon, Vero.
Hi, Nora. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for this.
You have been around the community, the Filipino American Community of Chicago, and you are really doing a wonderful work out there serving the community.
Thank you.
And that work is as a medical missionary. Miss
Thank you.
Nora has been doing medical missionary work through the years. And let's hear from her because she's on her way to retirement, she's saying, and through all this work. Hi, Nora. Welcome to our show.
Vero. Hi, Cprtv. Thank you for giving me this privilege to be interviewed about our project in the Philippines.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm very thankful that you are gracing our show today. Nora, okay, can you please share with us some of the exciting and interesting experiences that you've done through medical mission?
Well, actually, this dream of being able to help marginalized kababayans started when after graduation, I worked at the USC Charity Hospital in the pediatric section of the hospital. And I saw the poverty and the need of the people because they didn't have money to cover the expenses in the hospital. And I promised that if I will be lucky in the future to have the kind of funding, I'll be able to help them. And that's how it began. My commitment with the Philippine Medical Association of Chicago started in 2005. So that would be 25 years. So I've been joining their mission through the years. And then, of course, I adopted other projects, and we did outreach projects with my family members on a smaller scale. And it just, I guess, got bigger, better, and more fulfilling for the family. So, and the last one was actually after we had an accident in 2018, and I did promise, because we were survivors, that I would do payatas, which was in my bucket list anyways, and Baseco. So I was able to do that. Baseco was this year in February 16, 2025. And I think promises that I gave out to friends that I would do the mission, it has been fulfilled. And I think that's going to be my last one because I'm already going to be 80 this year.
Well,
Good.
yes, because you've been doing it through the years, and maybe you are really getting sick. I mean, really tired of doing this.
Oh, it's time for me to attend to our personal stuff, at home and even start downsizing, I guess, and start moving and make life simple.
So professional, you are a nurse.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that.
You'll
The
be
bachelor's
working
degree.
as a nurse. And that's why you are doing a medical mission in your.
Oh, yes, I have to mention that. Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree from University of Santo Tomas. And I did work throughout in the ICU, CCU area of, in nursing. That's what I primarily did with my profession. Anyways, but then I sort of just joined the registry when I married Fred, so I was just registry or part-time through the years, maybe like working 2 days a week or once a week just to keep my license in order.
All right. And so out of your retirement is when you thought of doing this philanthropic work, actually. And and this is just for the Philippines, or what? Have you done other countries for your medical missions?
Not really. I was going to join the Bolivia group, but for some reason it did not happen. But my heart also was, if I have to go to another country, I would rather go to the Philippines and touch different areas in the Philippines because we really, really need help. I mean, the people do need help as far as medical, surgical, even dental, even as simple as circumcision. There's just so much that the Filipino people can benefit from doing the mission in our country.
I think you're still young to retire from what you're doing.
Veronica, I'm going to be 80 this year.
You're still young. Look at you. You still look so pretty.
We will still continue to contribute, participate, but nothing big anymore because this last one was actually our Thai medical, dental, and surgical mission. And it was really, it was successful and it was really big. But I was lucky because we had a lot of good, dynamic donors and volunteers. So I couldn't have done it without them anyway. So it was really very fulfilling and a good experience, a very good experience for the family members who joined us, which is our children and grandchildren.
Yeah, you also have your children and in-laws, right?
Yes. Even our 4 years old was distributing goods, and she was became a different person. She's usually throw a temper tantrum, but in the mission, none of that. She was going around distributing goodies, snacks, loaf of bread. She was just simply happy doing it. And she asked me if I'm going to do the mission again. Not that she knows what mission really means, but she did ask me if we can do it again.
That's very nice. A very good example to show your children and grandchildren how to help other people.
Yeah, I hope so.
You have mentioned little
that they will continue that.
Very good.
So, anyways, yeah, it is a good feeling that, actually I always say the phrase, and Brian actually wrote it down in the book that they wrote about the mission. And I would summarize it by saying, this mission, even if you do the medical, giving the medicines, or the dental, which is good, but the surgical is more of a life-changing procedure for the kids because of the cleft lip or upper palate or removal of the tumor. And the goods distribution for me is actually just temporary in the sense that you just give them a good day for one day. And I always say it's like a speck of light that we are able to give to our kababayans because their lives they're living is dark. They're in the dark, you know. And but for the people, they really what do you call it? A yearning for like food. So that one day doing the goods distribution is like fiesta for them. And to me, it's like it's a speck of light that I give them to those lives who are in the dark. You know, a lot of the children even go through garbage to look for food. So when you give them something good, like even simple carne norte, they'd say, sarap lola, kasi mas masarap kaysa sa basura. That I was told to me by a girl, and I always remember that.
Okay, you were talking earlier about these places that you went to, the Baseco and the Payatas. Can you please explain to our viewing audience what these places are in the Philippines?
Okay, I make it quick. Payatas is known as the Smoky Mountain. You know, Payatas was a garbage dump. And it became so huge, like, well, you know, it's like a mountain or mountain hill. And a lot of the people do live on the base of the garbage, or most of them would live on top of the garbage because that is their source of livelihood. They do recycling, and a lot of them just live on top of the garbage dump. So it was emitting methane, so that's why they called it Smoky Mountain. But one day it erupted and then buried a lot of people. From what I understand, 700 people were buried alive, and that is Payatas. The garbage now has been moved to Montalban, so they have cleared up that area and it's fenced. So I don't know what the project is going to be for that one. And then Baseco is actually, I really don't know the details, but it's called Bataan's Shipping Engineering Company, which was started by the Marcoses. And I guess it was maybe a dockyard, a shipping, or I don't know, maybe Philippines was doing business in Asia, or maybe I was even thinking maybe that was the time they were doing something with the Bataan project. And but then when Cory Aquino came into power, she sequestered the whole area. Then eventually, when the time for former President GMA, she sequestered, I'm sorry, Cory Aquino sequestered, and then GMA took it back and then opened up the area for our kababayans to be able to reside there, I guess. I don't want to use the word squatter, but they were allowed to live there, you know, for free. So there was an influx of a lot of people from the south, and it became a residential community. But it is now the biggest poor urban community in the Philippines, Baseco. Or they have port area and they have also Tondo. That's Baseco.
Is there some kind of a kind of a hill or mountain that they built, or to live in?
No, Payatas, no. It was all garbage dump. That's why it became parang, hindi naman mountain, but just, you know, a big amount, tall amount, I mean, many garbage disposals from different places. And so it became like a hillside. Now, Baseco, no, there's no mountain, or it's not a garbage dump area, but it's more residential area that it was open for the people of the Philippines to stay for free. So people came all over from the north, actually marami from Mindanao and the Visayas area.
And their daily living is by rummaging through the basura?
Yeah, the Baseco people, I mean, sorry, Payatas people, yes, yes. That was their livelihood. They went through the garbage, and then they'll collect like plastic bottles, can, paper goods, that's being recycled. And of course, a lot of them, because they're hungry, they do search for food, leftover. So narinig mo yung, ano bang tawag doon, where they get the leftovers and then they stir fry it and then they sell it, or that's their food for the day. I forgot the term that they use, but they collect all the leftover food, like extra food from, McDonald's, Jollibee. Oops, sorry, I'm mentioning them, but something like that. I think you know the term, but anyway, so that was their livelihood.
I see. So, well, helping people like this, I'm sure really it makes a tug in your heart, and I really don't know how you could do it all these years, but must really be your humanitarian heart to be helping.
Yeah, it started many years ago, and actually, I was able to involve the kids, and we did small scale outreach, doing Hospicio de San Jose orphanage, and I took them also to some poor areas like even Tondo, and we did also Gawad Kalinga, which is in Bulacan and Parañaque, and if I can, I am proud to say that we were able to help and build 50 homes for the people dislodged from the river of Marikina. And they were transferred to Towerville, which during our time, I think it's Sapangpalay. And those things happen without plans. It just happened. I guess I was meant to go back there and do something, because I did go to Sapangpalay when I was in senior year of my nursing profession.
What tips can you give to our viewing audience, or for those people who want to follow your footsteps?
Oh no. Many times I also say, what am I doing here? When you do this charity work in the Philippines, it's like I've asked myself too, what is the government doing about this? But if you really look around, even the United States, we do encounter homeless people. So putting that aside, I just thought I will just do the best I can to be able to make a difference in someone's life. Never mind about politics, government, or whoever. That is my personal agenda with Fred and my family. And because it is a satisfying experience, it just so meaningful. I can't explain it to you, but to see a smile of a kid who was eating like the small amount of pancit we gave him, it's so hard to describe. Indescribable feeling. Happy. I'm really happy. Actually, that's why for many years I really don't talk about our charity project with for the most part with the other people.
Well,
I just want to do it as I call that, diba, we have purpose in our lives, And when we had an accident, I think something was telling me that I have to give back more, because we survived and we are alive. So.
All right, very good. Dora, I know you're
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you for gracing our show today. So we're running out of time, and I congratulate you for doing the good deed that you're doing for the people of our community in the Philippines. And also, I've heard that you're going to be the recipient of the Humanitarian Award in this upcoming.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I will qualify. It's
Congratulations.
okay. Reward or no reward, I will continue.
I want to tell our viewing audience that Nora was a recipient of our the ViaTimes Cprtv Hall of Fame twice already, and the last one was she was the Woman of the Year for the Chicago Filipino Asian American Hall of Fame. All right, Nora, good luck to you and congratulations.
Thank you for your friendship. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
And more blessings for the coming years for you.
More blessings for all of us. God bless.
Thank you.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protests over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in school.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our community has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be someone to start that conversation.
Yeah. You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Brigitte Carino Cueter bringing you this week's local news from our community. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources and the Office of the Illinois State Fire Marshal are reminding organizations and individuals sponsoring fireworks displays to keep safety top of mind and to be sure their vendors have the required state licenses and certificates before their fireworks shows. The Illinois Explosive Act requires that anyone who purchases, possesses, uses, transfers, stores, or disposes of explosives, including display fireworks, must have an explosives license, an explosive storage certificate issued by the IDNR. licensing and storage requirements administered by the IDNR do not apply to consumer fireworks, classified as 1.4 explosives. Approved consumer fireworks are regulated by the OSFM and are permitted only in villages, counties, and municipalities that have passed ordinances allowing such displays. Consumer fireworks may be purchased and displayed only by adults who have obtained permits from their local jurisdiction. Handheld fireworks, including firecrackers, Roman candles, and bottle rockets, are not approved for sale or use in Illinois. The Illinois Explosives Act is administered by the IDNR Office of Mines and Minerals, Explosives and Aggregate Division. The division is staffed by trained and experienced blasting specialists located throughout Illinois. Illinois Treasurer Michael Frericks announced that he has made more than $5 billion in investment earnings from the state portfolio during his time in office. With 1 month to go in the state's fiscal year 2025, investment earnings are up 6.07% over the same 11 months in fiscal year 2024. Every dollar we earn in interest for the people of Illinois is a dollar that lawmakers don't have to raise in taxes, Frericks said. We are trying to maximize earnings for our state at a time when the Trump administration is looking to strip away health care for working families to give billionaires a tax cut. The Illinois Secretary of State's office is awarding over $1 million in new grants to assist public libraries in underserved communities with needed technology enhancements, Secretary and State Librarian Alexi Giulius announced. According to the Secretary of State's office, 88 public libraries are receiving this grant, a totaling amount of either $27,500 or $12,500, depending on the size of the population they serve. Libraries play a significant role in our communities, providing a place for every Illinoisan to connect, learn, and explore, Giulius said. We have a responsibility to ensure that all libraries, regardless of their community's location or wealth, have the resources to meet the needs of residents and expand their offerings, particularly when it comes to technology. To qualify, the libraries must have a low tax base in relation to the population of their service area. The State Department has doubled the number of emergency evacuation flights it is providing for American citizens wishing to leave Israel, ordered the departure of non-essential staff from the U.S. Embassy in Lebanon, and is stepping up travel warnings around the Middle East because of concerns Iran will retaliate against U.S. interests in the region for the weekend strikes on its nuclear facilities. In an alert sent to all Americans worldwide and posted to its website on Sunday, the State Department warned all U.S. citizens abroad to exercise caution. The conflict between Israel and Iran has resulted in disruptions to travel and periodic closure of airspace across the Middle East. It said there is the potential for demonstrations against U.S. citizens and interests abroad. The Department of State advises U.S. citizens worldwide to exercise increased caution. Pakistan said on Saturday it would recommend U.S. President Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in helping to resolve the recent conflict between India and Pakistan. Some analysts in Pakistan said the move might persuade Trump to think again about potentially joining Israel in striking Iran's nuclear facilities. Pakistan has condemned Israel's action as a violation of international law and a threat to regional stability. In May, a surprise announcement by Trump of a ceasefire brought an abrupt end to a 4-day conflict between nuclear-armed foes India and Pakistan. Trump has since repeatedly said that he averted a nuclear war, saved millions of lives, and grumbled that he got no credit for it. Pakistan agrees that U.S. diplomatic intervention ended the fighting, but India says it was a bilateral agreement between the two militaries. President Trump demonstrated great strategic foresight and stellar statesmanship through robust diplomatic engagement with both Islamabad and New Delhi, which de-escalated a rapidly deteriorating situation, Pakistan said. This intervention stands as a testament to his role as a genuine peacemaker. Governments can nominate people for the Nobel Peace Prize. There was no immediate response from Washington. A spokesperson for the Indian government did not respond to a request for comment. Heat indices in the triple digits are forecast for our region this weekend and into the early part of next week. The Cook County Department of Animal and Rabies Control encourages pet owners to take special precautions to protect the health and welfare of their pets. The department offers the following tips for pet owners to keep in mind. Do not leave your pet in a hot car. Even with the windows rolled down, studies have shown that the temperature inside the car can increase 15 degrees above the outside temperature. The law requires that any time the ambient temperature is above 78 degrees, you cannot leave your dog in a car. Keep your pets cool when outside. Pets can get dehydrated quickly when it's hot or humid outdoors. All dogs should be provided with cool water and shade and should be monitored when outside. Animals with short coats or with white or tan fur are more susceptible to sunburn, especially on their noses. Consider a haircut. If your dog has a thick coat, consider a haircut for summer. Never shave your dog. The layers of a dog's coat protects them from overheating and sunburn. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Brigitte. See you next time.